Dave Portnoy, El Presidente, is a fraud. He has no core values, no defined set of beliefs.
The Blaze's host, Jason Whitlock, has mastered the art of projection.
He has no redeeming qualities other than his wealth. Remove his money, and he wouldn't have a friend in this world. If we weren't living in an era completely hostile to masculinity, Portnoy would be broke in Boston delivering pizza.
You know, the whole reason Whitlock is going after Portnoy, do you know?
AOC, my favorite big booty Latina. I love you, AOC. You're my favorite. You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina. Look how sexy she looks in that dress. Woo, I love it, AOC. Hot, hot, hot like a tamale.
A desperate misogynist, a doofus, whose name is Alex Stein, happens to be employed at the Blaze, which makes him a co-worker of Jason Whitlock's.
For you today, Alex Stein, primetime 99, always on the grind. It's gonna be in his house.
Cringe. As for Stein, very cringe.
QAnon conspiracy troll and used car salesman Alex Stein sexually harassed Representative AOC on the steps of the Capitol. He comes from a wealthy part of Dallas, Texas called Highland Park, where most of Stein's high school classmates found him annoying, immature, and, you guessed it, desperate for attention. The main reason that Stein has become well known is thanks to Texas House Bill 2840, which requires governmental bodies to give time to public speakers. And as a result, Stein has exploited this rule to spread misinformation, conspiracy theories, and transphobia. And because of those stunts, his videos have gone viral and he has been welcomed on right-wing shows like Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson, which helped build his platform as a troll. Alex Stein was also a former contestant on different reality TV shows, though not that anyone would even notice since each of his appearances were very short-lived. In 2012, Stein was a contestant on the reality TV show The Glass House.
At the end of the day, I'm a good guy.
It should come as no surprise that Stein also sexually harassed a female contestant while he was on the show. And by the end of the first episode, almost every contestant voted him off the show.
It certainly does seem like Jason Whitlock and Alex Stein are birds of a feather. After all, Whitlock had this to say of the GOAT Serena Williams. With a reduction in glut, a little less butt, and a smidgen more guts, Serena Williams would easily be as big as Michael Jackson, dwarf Tiger Woods, and take a run at Rosa Parks. Then he would wrongfully critique Serena further. She'd rather eat half-ass her way through non-major tournaments and complain she's not getting the respect her, at the time, 11 major championships demand. She complains about being ranked number 2 in the world at the time when she's not bitching on Twitter on her blog about new rules that forbid Wimbledon players from eating in the locker room. Seriously, how else can Serena fill out her size 16 shorts without grazing at her stall between matches? He went after Maria Taylor, saying she owed her standing at ESPN to physical beauty. Then he attacked Katie Nolan, quote, for also benefiting from physical beauty, saying that it transformed Nolan from bartender to 7-figure personality, Emmy Award winner, and the darling of aroused bloggers and TV critics willing to ignore her pedestrian humor and inability to execute live television. He also went after longtime NFL reporter Alex Flanagan, saying she has no clue what she just watched. NBC knows that. They pay a producer to explain to her. Producer should be fired, period. Plus, he added, fire Alex Flanagan's sideline producer. Sideline Barbie didn't ask Hasselbeck or Carroll about the whole team going downfield to block on hit and run. He also had a video on his Facebook that he and his team titled, Emotional Entitled Women Are Ruling America. Once again, I reiterate, Stein and Whitlock, birds of a feather. But with Portnoy, here's the story and the beef between them. Barstool Sports, Portnoy's company, put up then deleted a video of Stein trolling localities in Vegas. The company had to take it down, and Stein claimed they were afraid to keep my content up. So Portnoy tweeted, STFU, we are owned by a gambling company. We've had roughly 9,000 training sessions not to post stuff like this because regulators don't like it. Go back to whatever hole you crawled out of. He then featured another insane clip of Stein trolling protesters with this tweet. This guy Anybody who does this is a POS. I don't care what side of any issue you're on. If this is how you conduct yourself, you're a POS. I already apologized slightly to Stool Sales Guy for not researching him before responding. So Whitlock wrote a piece to defend his co-worker, writing, Dave Portnoy is a fraud. He has no core values, no defined set of beliefs. He has no redeeming qualities other than his wealth. Remove his money and he wouldn't have a friend in this world. Portnoy responded with 2 words that were foul. Easily could have come up with something better. Frankly, it's pathetic, but that's what he went with. However, Whitlock, who does delete a lot of his tweets, he really does, because he goes from one company to the next, forgot to delete this one.
Obviously, Dave Portnoy and what he built at Barstool Sports inspired me. And whatever kind of deal Barstool ends up signing with Travis Hunter just goes to speak to how disruptive Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports have been. Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, is he the most important person in sports right now? And for the first time, I think ESPN started in the late 1970s, and they've had no rival at any point in their history. He's actually disrupting things. He's shaking the apple cart.
To which Jason Whitlock responded, I used to be a big fan of Howard Stern's. He sold out too.
Antifa, to me, is the modern day KKK.
That's what people with no compass besides money do. Colin Kaepernick was my favorite quarterback. I could go on forever about things and people I used to support. People sell out. I move on. Clearly not. Here's the thing. Jason Whitlock calling someone else a sellout is rich. Super rich. As author and journalist Jeff Pearlman wrote, listen, I have many mixed feelings on Portnoy, but I'd take him over Whitlock any day of the week. Whitlock is the literal picture of fraud. The literal picture of huckster. The guy was once a legit journalist, then he realized if he played to the MAGA crowd, his shelf life would magically increase because there's nothing those people love more than having an African-American accomplice to make them say, how can I be racist when ... There is no one in media with less authenticity than Whitlock. Nobody. Ever. It's effing pathetic. Portnoy, the founder of Barstool, sued Insider in early 2020 over the publication of 2 stories that quoted women accusing him of sexual misconduct and assault. On November 4th, Insider correspondent Julia Black reported that 3 women had sexual encounters with Portnoy that turned into frightening and humiliating experiences. 2 women told the outlet that Portnoy choked and filmed them without advance permission. Portnoy has vehemently denied that he essayed anyone or filmed anyone without their consent. After the initial story, he waged a rhetorical war on Insider.com, which is owned by the German media conglomerate Axel Springer and was formerly known as Business Insider. 1 week later, Black and senior features reporter Melkorka Lucia published a follow-up article under the headline, 3 more women say Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy filmed them without asking during sex. We stand behind our reporting and will defend the case vigorously, an Insider spokesperson told the Washington Post.